Welcome to my channel. I don't know if anyone's on or not. I mean, I did an earlier live while watching the game, also drinking some beer. Actually, reviewing a beer. Actually, it was gonna happen. I figured they were gonna lose. Again, let's be honest. This team far exceeded their expectations of how the season was going to go. I mean, honestly, the way the season started, I honestly thought they were barely going to make 500. If they made 500 or win above, like finish 500 or above 500, I thought that was when the fact that they went into the playoffs, got into the wild card, I was like icing. And that point on, it was just house money. So we were four, and so I mean, let's be honest. Come on, but more so to the point where, like, the fact that we took out Flaherty, I mean, it was one of those things where it had to be scripted because, like, there's no Flaherty, like, gives up that many runs based on what he did in game one. I mean, come on, that made no sense. Either one, they told the umps, hey, make sure to call balls because, like, they said he didn't have his stuff. Let's be honest. I mean, like, some of those stuff. I mean, he had a hard time getting into the strike zone because he didn't know where the strike zone was because the umps were kind of changing it. So, I mean, it was scripted out to that point, like to the point, like it made much more sense from a TV perspective, that ratings perspective, actually, as well as money's perspective, that they finished out in LA versus finishing out in New York. Because if they finished out in New York, I mean, they're not really celebrating, like, with the LA fans and whatnot. So, like, and you're not going to get as many of the stars at that point as well, too, honestly. If it was a game 7, I mean, you probably would have gotten a lot more stars and a lot more stars from New York as well too, with the showing the New York love. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there was no way it was going to be a Subway Series. I mean, we already saw a Subway Series, and the ratings weren't that high. Dodgers, Yankees, East Coast, West Coast. It's definitely a rivalry that is being reignited. 2 superstars: Ohtani, Judge, Betts, Soto, Freeman, Stanton. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. The only difference is like there's no the pitchers. That's only I mean, you got Garrett Cole, yeah, but Garrett Cole versus Flaherty or Garrett Cole versus Bueller or Yamamoto. We'll see how that works out. But in reality, it's just purely the relievers and such. But I think it's mostly about the hitting more than anything else. I mean, I'm hoping after this, I mean, it makes you wonder, had the Mets made an effort to go for Ohtani, like the fact that they said, well, yeah, Ohtani never was considering the Mets, because the reason was they never made an offer. They never made a serious offer. If they made a serious $800 million, if they offered him $800 million, he's not saying no to that. Yeah, he wanted to go to the World Series, but in reality is I think if the Mets offered him 800, he would have a hard time saying no to that. And with that, I mean, if they had gotten Ohtani, I think they would have gotten Snelling for sure, and then any other pitchers at that point as well too. So, like, they far exceeded what they did. It would have been great if the Mets had gotten Soto as well too. I mean, if they could have traded for Soto, that would have been interesting to see. Because, like, without Soto, let's be honest, without Soto, I don't know if the Yankees make it this far into the playoffs, because Soto basically put him on the. I don't want to say put him on the map, but at least got him to that first place aspect, similar to Ohtani. Both of them definitely would have made the playoffs. Would they have gone this far? Most likely, because these 2 players weren't doing as much in the playoffs per se. Well, Ohtani was in an aspect, but honestly, those 2 with Lindor and Alonso. Well, the thing is, to get Soto, you'd have to trade Alonso at that point, and I think we could have gotten Alonso and then traded Alonso for Soto. It would have been a whole different beast altogether. I mean, you got Soto, Ohtani, and Lindor. Whew, that would have been a 1-2-3 punch right there. Everyone would have been freaking out at that point. But now you've got the 1-2-3 punch of, like, Soto, Stanton, and Judge at this point. So, and now you got Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts, or Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. And now you got Edman at this one, and Paez is looking really good at this one. But let's see what happens. I mean, I'm hoping the Mets. I mean, they get the pitchers. Peterson. I think David Peterson actually has proven that he is definitely a number 2, number 3 star, not your ace. Senga is not proving to be an ace. I don't think he is. He never will be. More of a back of the rotation type of guy. Severino and Mania. Severino, I hate to say he's going to go. The Mets should not try to resign him. If they could, it'd be great, but I don't think they should. Mania, I think again it's more so to the point where like Mania, because he adjusted his pitching his delivery. I think batters are going to get used to it. The hitting coaches are going to, and coaches themselves are going to go, look for it, and they're going to see signs, and they're going to catch him, and then basically he's going to revert to what he was before that, adjustment that he made. Budo, I'm hoping Budo becomes another Santana, like the fact that they put him into into relief, into the bullpen, like the way Johan Santana was with those Twins, that he can become lights out at this point. Peterson, hoping he's that number 2 starter, and then of course you've got Sengo, like the back of the rotation. It'll be interesting to see how Scott comes out as well too. It would be great if Scott comes in and becomes, like a dominant pitcher as well too. Do they have a superstar pitcher right now at this point on their staff? No, I don't think they do. It'd be great if they did, but they don't. I don't think they're at that point yet. I mean, they don't have the Harvey. Sad part is they don't have the Harvey, Wheeler, DeGrom, Syndergaard aspect as well as Matz. I'm still iffy about Matz, quite honestly, in the 2015. I mean, I think he should have been more of a closer, but in any case. Is Diaz the new closer? I don't know. Stanik's a free agent. Do the Mets try to re-sign him? It would be great if they could, but I think he's going to go somewhere else. Alonso, it'd be great if the Mets can sign Alonso, because you need Alonso. If you could have Alonso, Lindor, and Soto, that'd be great. Now, the question is, does Alonso deserve the kind of money that Soto's going to get? No, by no means. If the Cubs are willing to pay $500 million for Alonso, by all means, go for it. Go to the Cubs. I hate to say it, but go to the Cubs. We can use Mauricio or Batty at this point. Not to negate anything away from Alonso. I mean, without him, we don't get this far as well, too. But I'm thinking of the future, and I read, Lindor. It's showing Lindor this is his team. This is his team. This is not Alonso's team. This is Lindor's team, and you now need some defensive capabilities as well as offense as well too. Center field, I don't know what you do with center field. Taylor, great as he is as a center fielder, I don't know if he's that good of a hitter. If you could find someone in your, I mean, Acuna would be good, but honestly, Acuna's probably going to be your second baseman. Let McNeil go. If you can trade McNeil, trade McNeil. Similar Marte, I hate to say this, but like you're gonna, I would trade Marte, see if you can get some players out of it. I don't know, like it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Mets and see how that works out basically. Because like one of the things I think you see basically this is the Mets pitching was their weakness. They need pitchers. They need some serious pitchers. They need a complete starters that can go a good 7 innings to 8 innings, and then they need some serious help in the bullpen. Get that bullpen solidified. I think they become a dominant team again at this point. Almost dominant team. I mean, depends what the Braves and the Phillies do at this point as well too. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, it was great. Congrats to the Dodgers. Congrats to the Yankees. Congrats to the MLB writers for scripting it out the way it is. With that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited.